Well, it's about that time now, isn't it? The time to go ahead and rate an irrelevant list about the best and worst animated films of 2017. Now, I have not seen every single animated film, which this is the list right here, and I'll get to that. But first, I want to remind, just a quick little update per se. Not all of my voice acting, or I don't think you guys care, but not all of my voice acting is going to be on YouTube. I also have a Twitter where you can also follow me, and I post some voice acting things that I do on there as well. And it's just normally for fun, the voice acting thing that I do, even though nobody watches them. But it's just for fun, and I like doing them. I want to be somewhat of a voice actor as well in the profession of animation as well. So yeah, you can go check out my Twitter if you guys are interested. I would like more followers on Twitter because that's where I'm most active on. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's get to the best and worst animated films. And I did not see every single one of them. I'm not gonna lie to you like I did last year. I have a confession to make, guys. I did not actually see Norm of the North or Ice Age 5. The rest I saw, but I haven't seen. I didn't go see those. And the reason why I did put that on the list is because I was an idiot back then. And I was on that train to where, I kind of faked seeing this movie, or I saw a couple of clips of it, and yeah, I get to share the same pain like everybody else. But no, I lied to you. I lied all to you, so I am so sorry for that. Or, the 200 plus people who saw that on my original channel, but I guess, now I have a new channel, now I get to now I have new things to start on, and I won't lie to you guys this time, because I made a list of I didn't see blank. So, the movies I didn't see, but I don't know, let me see how much, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I have 8 on the actual films I did see, so it balances out. Kind of, sort of, I don't care. Anyway, the movies I didn't see, I did go, the ones no shock, I didn't go see was Not Jump 2, Rock Dog, Leap, and those are the ones that I just didn't bother, because I don't care for movies that were made straight to DVD release, brought onto the big screen. I don't care about those, and I'm not gonna go see them. By the way, I don't really care for seeing straight to DVD films that were released on the big screen. I don't care for them. The ones that were somewhat available that I guess for theatrical release was like the Lego Ninjago movie. I mean, I saw like a little bit of Lego Ninjago when it was playing back on Cartoon Network for like a couple of seasons, and then I dropped out of it. I didn't even know it was still going on. It's like, no wonder this thing flopped, because I'm pretty sure like then, as much as it's still probably going on, it's probably not as popular as it was back then. Ferdinand, I did not go see Ferdinand, and I have no desire to go see it when it's still in theaters. Mainly because it all depends on marketing, guys. I wasn't interested in going to go see Coco until it got really, really great reviews. And I don't know about Ferdinand's process in not Rotten Tomatoes. I can't trust that. Just the average, I guess, movie, animated film per se. I don't know if it's score or anything like that, or I haven't seen anybody rave about it. But I don't know. It all depends on marketing. Again, I wasn't interested in going to see Coco. I saw it. I thought it was, and it's like, it was amazing. But Ferdinand, I never really got interested in it. It all depends on marketing, guys. It all depends on marketing. And Cars 3. I didn't go see Cars 3. I didn't go see Cars 3 because I'm just not interested in what the Cars universe has to offer. And trust me, I think with now John Lasseter out of Pixar, or at least out of a 6-month lead, screw John Lasseter. With him out, I'm pretty sure the Cars universe has just died. If they continue to make them, then I'm just not going to be interested in going to go see them. Okay, I'm just not interested in seeing Cars movies anymore because Pixar is wasting their time. They're wasting their time with that. But I don't want to rate movies based on the company, to be honest. But the Cars movies, just I don't want to watch them anymore. I don't really care for watching Cars movies anymore. Anyway, and also one last thing, The Star. I did not go see The Star because, again, marketing. I just wasn't really interested in seeing The Star. Of course, it could have been. It's probably something that could have been also put into the straight to DVD pile, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea. But other than the films I didn't see, let's get to the movies that I actually did see. And I'm just going to leave the list right here while I draw Cambot. So, yeah, let's get to the movies that I actually did see. And I'm going to start from worst to best, go in that category. And surprisingly, let's go to the worst animated film that came out, which, unsurprisingly, the Emoji Movie. Now, there's not that much to really say about the Emoji Movie, to be honest, because more of my hate derivates from the overreaction of probably worst thing ever that the internet just loves to just throw out every single week when there isn't a Star Wars movie. But it's just to the fact that I'm just so sick and tired of the hype or the unhyped culture of this. It's like, this is so horrible that I would rather do this to myself. It's like, yeah, buddy, I'm sure you would. Let me get you on video so you can actually do that to yourself instead of going to go see 90-minute movie that you're gonna forget in a day. Like, honestly, guys, you don't need to do that. And I'm not gonna give the Emoji Movie any defense either, because it is just so boring and it's so uncomfortable to sit through. I'm not gonna say cringeworthy, because cringe is a word made up by people who just who are not to be able to take their criticism that seriously either way. So, the uncomfortable feeling that the Emoji Movie made me feel, not in us like, oh, this is so dirty, or yeah, it's like, it was so uncomfortable in the way that it just bored me, and it didn't resonate with me. Which it shouldn't resonate. I'm pretty sure even with kids, it doesn't resonate as much, because as much as we give, like, our 4-year-olds smartphones, I don't know if they're going to know, like, somewhat all these terms that the movie uses, or these outdated slang words, or whatever that they use. You can tell that this movie was written by somebody of a committee who wanted to make a movie about emojis because, hey, the other people are doing it as well. And I'm not going to blame Sony Animation for making the movie, because there's other companies like Warner Brothers and Paramount that were wanting to get their hands on their movie. And trust me, if any of those companies out there made it, the lesser known companies, nobody would care. Nobody would care as much, but because, again, Sony Animation punching bags, they want to go out and, just say that this is the worst movie and Sony Animation should be burned at the stake. I don't care. I honestly don't care. Because it doesn't depend on the studio that makes it. It depends on the talent that you actually get, guys. But I'm not going to go into the whole spiel about that. Again, I just got tired of it. I honestly just got really, really bored of people using hyperboles and all these idiotic sentences in their reviewing. It's like, I won't subjugate you guys to that. I know how much it infuriates me. It's like, yeah, you guys can go sit, I guess, to those reviewers, you can go sit in the corner. But, yeah, I won't deny that the Emoji Movie is boring, and it is somewhat pandering to its audience. Audience that doesn't even know who to pander to, because this would normally assess with somebody who's a teenager or at least 10 years old, and 10-year-olds won't find this interesting because they want action. They want something actually happening on the movie screen, and yet nothing of relevance is actually happening. So yeah, I forgot about this movie, actually. I forgot about this movie. If you want a more interesting review of the movie, go watch I Hate Everything's review of it, or go watch Hot Diggity Demons somewhat re-scripting of the movie to see how it could have been good. Because yes, the Emoji Movie could have been good. Go watch Hot Diggity Demons video on his plot of the Emoji Movie, because it's really, really good. So yeah, that's my worst animated film of the year. Not the worst film of the year, because I'm not that stupid. Okay, so the seventh. I was having a really hard time picking the first three best films I have on here. It's legitimate, but from 7 to 4, I was having a really hard time of placement, because so many of these movies are just meh movies to me. Because they don't really leave much of an impact. Or again, my number one issue with just film in general, or I guess you could say anime film, since that's what I'm critiquing right now, is pacing. I don't really like it when a film just has piss poor pacing in it. But I decided I wanted to rate on the meh qualities of the movies here. And the one that's actually above the Emoji Movie is Smurfs: The Lost Village. And I just don't really remember much from this movie. I remember there were Smurfs in it. That's it. Which I guess you could say, well, Emoji Movie, all you remember is the damn emojis. Yeah, but at least I remember how, good the art design of the movie was. I remember how colorful it was. I mean, it could keep a kid's attention, to be honest. It's like, oh, pretty things. Like, it could keep a young child's attention, about maybe 5 years old. Because it is pretty. It is really, really, the world that the design that they use for, who's the guy who invented Smurfs? Peyote? The peyote design, really transmitted very, very well into 3D. And I really, really liked the design of the whole movie. But other than that, and other than the fact that there were Smurfs in it, I can't really remember what happened in it. I guess maybe something to do with Gargamel, but that's all I remember about it. But hey, I want to give credit to, the people who actually worked on it and perfected the peyote style in 3D animation, because you could say a lot of things about Sony, which I don't really care for, but at least they can nail people's style down. They can nail it down if they get the right people to do it. So yeah, that's my number 7. I can't really say much about it because I can't really remember that much, but it has something over the Emoji Movie, and that's style. It has style over. It's more of a style over substance thing, which I only have a few exceptions for, but that's about it. Anyway, on the number 6 movie that's on here is Despicable Me 3. And I was debating whether or not this or the other movie should go and take that spot, because they're both kind of the same thing. But no, I went over Despicable Me 3 because this made me realize how much Despicably Me wasn't all that much of a big success to begin with. I mean, I liked the first Despicable Me fine. The second one I need to go back on and see if it's okay or bad. I don't know whether or not though that's either it is gonna be bad, or it's just somewhat of sequelitis where it is probably not as good as the first one, but I don't know if it's terrible. I have no idea, but I need to go back and look at the second one again. And I didn't really care for the Minions movie either. Like, just gonna throw that out there. I didn't really care for the Minions movie either, and it's also suffered from pacing and odd direction of the plot per se. But Despicable Me 3 has nothing to do. The Minions have no reason to be there, by the way. They're just shoehorned in because we need to have Minions because, marketing. And we also, and it just was, again, piss poor pacing, and also the fact that, I didn't think like they had as much opportunity as that twin subplot would allow it to do, even though they hinted at something at the very end that they were going their separate ways. But other than that, it's just I guess lack of interest per se of the whole Despicable Me franchise now, because I thought it could go somewhere with the first movie, and they decided to just do the normal thing that everybody else that anime films tend to do nowadays. It's like run their franchise into the ground. So, yeah. So, am I gonna go watch if they make a Minions 2 or Despicable Me 4? Probably not. I mean, I didn't really care for it when they were doing Minions and this movie as well. So, we'll see. I mean, maybe if they can add something, maybe I can go see it again. But other than that, I think I'm kind of done with this Despicable Me franchise, because it's just, Anyway, number 5 movie. This was the one that I was debating whether or not it should go above, or below, right next to Smurfs: The Lost Village, because it's kind of a little bit of the same thing. But I guess maybe it's because of the fact that I have seen the series for this long, and I'm kind of overwhelmed by it, to say the least. Now that I hear that there's going to be another one coming up in 2021, maybe. Which I tried to find those leaks, by the way, but I can't find them. Maybe Hasbro already took them down. But now that I said Hasbro, you probably know that it's the My Little Pony movie, which again should have been a movie that would have come out sooner. This should have replaced somewhat Equestria Girls, even though right now I think Equestria Girls holds the best character in the MLP universe. My girl Sunset, she's really cool. But this should have come along sooner in terms of the story progression in MLP. As a movie on its own, it's totally serviceable. It's fine. It's passable for little kids. But I think for fans of MLP and for the common viewer, they're just gonna toss it to the sideline because it's not following the lore, which is, I didn't really care for the lore in MLP to begin with. I take the fandom of something and the canon verse completely differently. Some people like to take it very, very, very seriously, and I take it separately and with a grain of salt. I know the difference between canon and something that's fan fiction. And some people just don't, some people don't see the line, some people do, but some people don't see that line. And they take their fandoms way too seriously. But I've never been one of those people that got. I got interested in MLP because of the fandom, but I never wanted the fan work to be an actual canon to the show, because I knew that it was made specifically for young children, and not for the However, adults who go and see like other fantasy type stuff like Lord of the Rings and such like that. We're not going to get that much build up, guys, and I don't know why you're still trying, but I guess that's bronies for you. But but as somebody who went into this movie not really thinking of the actual show itself, it's very it just seems very very somewhat overdone, and it doesn't really help that. Again, it's always the pacing. It's always the goddamn pacing, and it's always the fact that a script is also suffering from that pacing, because you just get so many characters. You just get so many characters talking and actual no development over it. It's like, oh, you already know these characters, so we're not gonna really introduce them to the audience, because the audience already knows this character. It's like, well, sometimes none of us don't know the characters, and it's fine to start with a clean slate story, guys. So I think this could have maybe benefited better if it came out earlier, but then again, that's based on the fandom, and I really don't care. So, I guess. I mean, also the animation, I wish it was also better, because it seemed that whenever they try to mix 2D with 3D, it would kind of go on a low frame rate per se, and it did not look good on the big screen. So yeah, they could have improved on the animation, like 2D and 3D aesthetics in the same room together, and it just kind of didn't really they didn't really flesh it out per se. And I wish they probably could have took more time on that, but what can you do? It's a theatrically released movie that I don't know if we're gonna get a second one, to be completely honest. Do I want a second one? Maybe. I mean, maybe they can see the faults of the original and can go back and fix it, but we'll just have to wait and see. Honestly, we're just gonna have to wait and see if they do make a second one, or if they do make whatever Hasbro wants to sell in their toy chest that day. So yeah, number 5 goes to My Little Pony movie. Number 4, which is probably gonna shock some people. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it shocked me when I put it on here, but it's The Boss Baby. I put The Boss Baby over Despicable Me 3 and the My Little Pony movie. I haven't seen this movie since I originally saw it, to be honest. So maybe that's why I'm putting it so high, because I don't know how somewhat maybe bad this movie is, but I will say I did somewhat enjoy it per se, because as much as I complain about piss poor pacing in animated films, I will say that if your animated film has somewhat of just a crazy scenario, or like somewhat memorable characters, then I can forgive somewhat of the pacing. And this one kind of did. I mean, let me see. A baby corporation in the sky that gives babies sentience and makes them think like adults, and they're battling over puppies for the cuteness meter. Like, honestly, I have not heard a plot like that crazy in a long time, and it's just weird. That's the thing to describe this movie. It's weird, and it may or may not be in the mind of a kid. I have no idea what they were going for. It could be. I mean, you can get some commentary on that, but it probably ain't. It probably isn't, to be honest. And it's just a really, really wacky type scenario. But oh my god, my voice is going. My voice is going away. Yeah, why do I say I say a lot. I need to script my actual things when I actually get some production. But Boss Baby, maybe I'm looking at it from the fact that it's been a while since I've seen it. And maybe I am looking at it because this year was kind of underwhelming, I should say, for animated films. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine for kids. It's fine. Boss Baby was fine. It was better than the meh crap I got at least, but not much. So, I'll just say that about Boss Baby. It's better than meh. That's all I'd say about it. It's better than meh. Okay, so let's get to the films that I actually really liked this year. I know, only 3 movies that I actually liked this year. What a shame. But I don't know, how many films did I like last year? I mean, maybe you guys can go and you can see how many animated films that I really cared for last year besides, the cheaters, but I think I liked a portion of last year's animated films. Maybe, I have no idea. I think I liked about 3. I think I liked about 3 or 4, which is not an improvement. It's like every time a year comes out, there's only 3 or 4 movies that I genuinely like. And I wish there was more, but I guess that's the diversity of the animated film industry. But number 3 is going to go to Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, and it's really weird. It's really weird to put this because this is more surreal than Boss Baby. It's based on books that I haven't read before, but it kind of makes I don't want to go read the books. I don't want to go read the books. I don't really care, but it has the imagination of a kid who wants to draw, and then it's like, I'm gonna make a very silly movie, and this is what they came up with. It has that type of childhood feel of a kid who made a movie, and it doesn't seem forced. It actually seems kind of genuine. But it is a very, 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 very very silly movie. I mean, it has a villain called Miss. It has a villain called Poopy Pants. So I don't know about. I guess with a kid's imagination, then it'll come up with these very silly juvenile words. It's a very silly juvenile movie done right. I would say that it's very, very silly. And I would say that it is the animation in it. I mean, I can tell where the frame rate goes down because it did cost 30 something $million. It did cost that much, but for the animation, it's not half bad actually. The animation for a $30+ million movie is not bad. It's actually really, really good. So I would recommend Captain Underpants for people who just like silly in their cartoons, which is something that we need to be getting, honestly. We need to be getting silly back into our cartoons again. And the next one is probably something silly, but it's coming from a property that people like, and I think it's fine. I think it's alright, but people really liked the Lego movie. But I put the Lego Batman movie at number 2, and I think it's better than the Lego movie because it doesn't just stick to a cliche of films, of all types of films, like where there is a trend now in animated films where they want to break the fourth wall and say, this is not as good as we thought it would be, or hey audience, we're talking to you. And it's kind of getting a little bit tiring now. I mean, I've only seen it in a few instances, but I want that magic again of actually watching a movie and not the characters actually talking to the audience. But but Lego Batman is parroting one genre, and that's the superhero genre of movies, and it's really really good at doing that, because I've gotten overwhelmed by all of the superhero crap that keeps on appearing, and I wanted to stop. Go somewhere else. I don't care for them. I don't care for them at all. And to see them parroting it as well, and to actually just, make it funny and enjoyable and not overly dark and brooding, I really, really do enjoy it. I really do enjoy it, because that's what superheroes were back in the day. I haven't read any of them per se, but I know a little bit about their history, and I know that they weren't always dark and brooding. I know that they were also very silly, and just seeing that in a way where a kid nowadays can watch Lego Batman and say, "Oh, this is very very silly," and I really really like it. Kids love silly, and I'm a kid to heart, so I really really like silly. And I know people don't really care for silly, but I would say that it's your loss, because you can get away with so much more. You can get away with so much more. You can get away more with a silly premise, or I would say an outlandish premise, and you can have more fun with your movie or TV show if it is very 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 silly and very very funny as well. So it's just something that I miss somewhat in animation. Just the idea of animation just being so silly and having a comedic type edge to it, having a comedic slapstick type edge, instead of just pointing out your joke to the audience. It's like, hey audience, we know you're watching. So yeah, but I think Lego Batman, and I think that's why Lego Batman also triumphs over Captain Underpants as well. As much as they're making fun of it in a sort of way, like wink wink nudge nudge to the audience about the current superhero movie genre, it's also playing into somewhat of its own universe as well. And it's not saying like, hey audience, do you remember this? Do you remember this as well? It's like, no, it's not doing that. It's actually making sense, because it's making fun of superhero movies in their own Lego world. So yeah, I really do appreciate Lego Batman's achievement of just making fun of the superhero genre in general, and it's probably, people are probably going to think that it is the best animated film of the year if they prefer comedy over my number one pick. But I will appreciate the fact that it did get me to get into, or not get into, but appreciate a little bit more about Phil. Did Phil Lord? I think Phil Lord and Chris Miller worked on this, because they are somewhat comedic geniuses in their own right. But anyway, let me get to my number one, which nobody's going to be shocked by at all. It was the movie that brought me to tears twice. I'm not kidding. I went to go to a second screening of the movie with a friend of mine, and yeah, I cried. What are you going to do about it? And that movie is Coco. This speaks to me in a way that not really much animated films do now. Or I would say it's rare now. It's rare for me. Not only am I getting something about a culture that, I mean, I'm Mexican as well, but I'm not so deep into my culture as other people are, per se. I mean, I like my culture fine. I like my Mexican heritage fine. It's just the fact that, it's just the fact that I never really got that much into it as maybe other people have as well. But I know, I guess I know a little bit of it, and I'm guessing. I'm Mexican, so I must know everything about my culture. But just seeing something that has culture in it and also is understanding to a kid as well who maybe doesn't experience the Mexican culture. I think it's really cool for somebody like Pixar to be doing that and also make a story with very very likable characters and also just a really 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 good um that was my dog that was my dog sneezing, I'm sorry. Just a really good heartfelt, just a really good heartfelt movie, man. It's I can't boast on how great Coco is, and also the fact that I went to go see it with my family, which aren't isn't really all that big into animation in general. They're kind of like, I guess they're not into it in a way that they kind of just think that it is still just kid stuff. And then I went to go see this movie with my mom and dad, and they really liked it. And it's one of probably the only or few animated films that they can like sit down and watch. So yeah, Coco accomplished a lot for me in that regard. It had really it just went back to something where Pixar just needed, and that was a hint of sincerity in their movies. And there's the garbage truck. Just a hint of something that they took their time on this, and they did not let it go. They wanted to represent the culture right and with respect, and it paid off. And honestly, really paid off. And they made it enjoyable for kids, and they made it enjoyable for adults as well. And this is probably in my top 5, maybe top 3 favorite Pixar movies, because as much as I would like to say that, oh, it's because I'm Mexican, it's like, no, because I don't really have like a strong relationship with even my own culture, and even yet I could see that they were making an honest to God great movie. They really cared, and they really tried, and it's just something that is kind of a little bit missing. It's missing in animated films, because it seems like when people make animated films, they want to make it because you have a certain pacing that you have to do. You have a certain statistic that we need to hit so we can make our animated film and be done with it. It's like, oh, we need a story about following your dreams. We need a story about don't judge a book by its cover type story. We need a story about the underdog, which are all fine stories. I'm not going to harp on that at all. It's just the fact that it's just been done so much and nobody's doing it differently. And this is a story about a kid who wants to be a musician and somehow gets into the land of the dead, and needs to reconnect with his family to fix his mistakes. And yeah, it's a follow your dreams type story, but it also has to deal with how far are you willing to take those dreams, and what are you going to sacrifice to also get those dreams as well. It's a movie about acceptance, but it's also a movie about just learning also to appreciate the things in life that will get you there. And this movie also touches on legacy as well, which I have been worried about as well. It's like, what legacy am I gonna bring? What legacy am I going to? Am I just gonna be me, and am I gonna just die without anybody remembering me, or am I going to leave behind something that I can give back to the world? And that's why Coco speaks to me in a way that's why I want to do animation. I want to leave something behind so that people can also enjoy and people can also interpretate. So, yeah, I really, really love Coco. It's probably my top 3 favorite Pixar movies. Maybe even my top 1. I don't know. I gotta see if Coco makes me cry again when I get it on Blu-ray. So, yep, that's my number 1 animated film of 2017. Let's go over the films that are coming in 2018. It's better. I would say it's better than 2017. The lineup, at least. But we'll have to see. Early Man from Artman Animation coming in February 16th. I don't know about that. I haven't really. I've seen Wallace and Gromit. I've finally seen Pirates Band of Misfits. I really, really do enjoy Arthur Christmas. So, I mean, I don't know about Early Man, to be honest. It just seems kind of. I've only seen like one trailer of it, and it was not all that impressive to me. But I don't know. Maybe if they come up with another trailer, and maybe if they have better, maybe a little bit more interesting marketing for it, then maybe I'll be interested in it. Sherlock Gnomes by Paramount Animation coming March 2023. I'm really shocked that this movie exists. To be honest, I am really shocked. I liked the first Romeo and Juliet fine, but I'm really shocked that this movie actually exists. And I don't know whether or not I'm going to see it in the theaters or if I'm just going to rent it. I don't know. I don't know if I want to give my money. But if it's in its own little strange world, if they want to keep on making these movies about Britain per se, then I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine with that. It's just really, really odd. It's just really odd and strange that this movie just came out of nowhere and everybody's just shocked by it. I'm shocked by it, for crying out loud. Isles of Dogs from Fox. I think it's Fox. It's Fox Searchlight. I think. It's the same company that produced made Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's coming on March. It's coming on the same day as Sherlock Gnomes. So which one will win? Sherlock Gnomes or Isles of Dogs? Easily Sherlock Gnomes will win. But because this is more of a animated film that's catered towards the art house film per se. And I'm interested in actually seeing this movie. Because I haven't seen Fantastic Mr. Fox in a long time. I gotta rewatch that again to see, because I mean, I know that it's supposed to be like a really, really, really great animated film. It's just to the point of like, how long can you keep my attention? Because in these art house type movies, they somewhat lack to keep my attention per se, but I'm interested to see what this Isle of Dogs actually is, and maybe if it can keep my attention per se. But it's coming on the same day as Sherlock Gnomes, so March 23rd, you better be ready. It's the showdown. It's gonna be dogs versus gnomes. What's gonna win? The Incredibles 2 from Pixar Animation coming on June 15th. I am really, really somewhat worried and somewhat excited. Incredibles is actually one of my favorite Pixar movies. I just don't want them to mess it up. I mean, it's not going to really be messed up because I always have the original to go back on, and sequels or spinoffs or anything like that aren't really going to destroy anything that the original did or anything that it impacted me, but I want it to be good. I trusted Brad Bird enough. And I'm also excited for like his human design to come back into Pixar, because it seems like the human design has been kind of the same per se, hasn't really been different. So I want Brad Bird to drive his style into Pixar again. But whether or not Incredibles 2 is going to be good, I have no idea. But we'll just have to wait and see. Hotel Transylvania 3 from Sony Animation coming July 13th. Again, I don't have as much expectations as I did that second one. I don't, and I probably don't have for this one. I mean, it could go either way, or I mean, it could either be as somewhat kind of meh as as the second one was. I don't think it's gonna reach the first one's status at all. But the thing is, would it be a little bit better than the second one, or would it be worse? Because from what I gathered, it sort of seems like a throwaway idea that they just decided to run on paper. I mean, that's what Gendy said, that this was just inspired by his vacation. So, how much passion was he willing to put into it? I mean, he is writing and directing, so I guess that's something. But how much passion are you willing to put into this, Gendy? Because I really loved that first movie, and the second one's meh. I don't know how this one's gonna be. Teen Titans Go to the movies from Warner Brothers Animation, coming July 27. I have no interest in seeing this movie. I have no interest in seeing the show. So that's why I don't comment on the unnecessary hate that it's getting. Because it's a damn cartoon. Will you stop hating on a freaking cartoon made for children under the age of 10? Jeez. Okay, Smallfoot from Warner Brothers Animation, coming September 14th. Man, I don't know whether or not I'm going to actually go see this movie. It just seems like a standard movie to me. And it's just standard plot, standard characters, not really interesting design choices. I think it's going to be my Ferdinand. I think I'm just going to skip it. How the Grinch Stole Christmas from Illumination Animation, November 9th. It's weird that they put it on November 9th instead of a Christmas release, but whatever, it could change. I really, really like that Chuck Jones cartoon. I really, really do enjoy it. Go watch the Chuck Jones How the Grinch Stole Christmas cartoon. It's really, really good 30 minutes of your time that should not be wasted. I don't know whether or not, I haven't seen it in a while, the live action one. I think it was sort of a guilty pleasure when I was a kid, but I don't know how I would feel about it now. I think I would just kind of be a little bit disgusted watching it now, but we'll see how. Well, I actually liked Wharton Hears a Who. I did not like the Lorax. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It could go either way. We'll just have to wait and see. Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, from Disney Animation. The only Disney Animation, because I don't count Pixar. The only Disney Animation movie that's coming out on November 21. I did not love Wreck-It Ralph as much as other people. I don't have that video game nostalgia. Even though I do think Wreck-It Ralph is a fine movie, I hope that they don't do. They're better than the filmmakers of the Emoji Movie, but I just hope. I hear that they're gonna pull out, like, their own Disney type of memorabilia in it, so I hope they go more for that instead of more the internet stuff. But yeah, I guess I want to see the characters of Wreck-It Ralph going into the internet and just looking at Disney stuff. That would be fine. If it was an hour and a half for that and they were self-aware and stuff like that, it'll be fine. And then the other one, probably my most anticipated animated film of next year. It's coming on December 14th. God damn. Really? December 14th. I had to wait a whole year. But Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse from Sony Animation. God damn, if this movie is good, I don't care what the Sony Animation haters have to say. You can't say anything anymore because your animated movie company got good. Or it's always kind of been good. It's just people just, I don't know why. Why do people hate on the companies? So dumb, so idiotic, so childish. That's why I don't rate it. It's like, I've grown up, guys. Why should I care about what company? If you were a kid, let me give you a little bit of advice. If you were a kid, would you care what company made it? No. You would just care if it was entertaining to your immune eyes. You would just care about that, but nope, we gotta be childish about it. We gotta be more childish than the actual children actually watching these movies. The actual families who make up the movies and not critical minds. So, yeah. That's pretty much all I have to say. I'm literally rocking back and forth now. I don't know why I'm doing that. Maybe because I'm just so thirsty and you can hear it in my voice. My voice is getting so raspy. But yeah, that's my list. Hope you guys enjoy it. This video is 50 minutes long. Is it gonna upload the whole goddamn thing? No, it's not. So yeah, thank you for watching my video. As always, JC out. I'll see you guys later. Take care.